Thanks everybody for joining us here today for another Oracle Live event. Today we're going to be talking about our overall hybrid cloud strategy and an interesting new announcement that kind of complements the existing offerings we've launched over the past couple of years. Before we get into the details of our hybrid cloud strategy, I want to talk a little bit about why customers are choosing Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. And there are many reasons, and obviously we can't talk about all of them, but there are a few key reasons that the vast majority of customers are choosing our platform. The number one reason, and it's the reason that we built OCI from the beginning, is that customers can migrate their most mission critical applications onto our cloud. We've done a massive number of investments, whether it be at the infrastructure layer, at the networking layer, at the compute layer, et cetera, to make customers able to move their most complex workloads onto our platform. Going along with that, we also offer the best performance at a significantly lower cost compared to any of our cloud competitors. We have a fundamentally different philosophy when it comes to security. We believe that security should always be on. It shouldn't be prohibitively expensive. And the reason that customers are breached is not because they don't have enough security tools. It's because security is so complex. And because of that, we focus exclusively on simplifying the security portfolio, simplifying the security experience to ensure that customers can be super secure without the complexity of too many tools. In addition, we've made a significant investment with what we're doing with Autonomous Database. Autonomous Database is the next revolution of technology that really hasn't been seen in the database market for 20 or 30 years. By combining the power of our best-in-class Oracle database with the power of our cloud, with the fact that we can have a service that's fully automated, that has automatic machine learning, that we can gather statistics and automatically tune things for you, we're able to create the best database available anywhere, and it's only available in Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. And last, what we're going to be talking about today is that Oracle has the most complete support for hybrid cloud strategies. And that means that we really meet customers where they're at. Customers can use our solutions, whether it be in the public cloud, whether it be in their data center, or anywhere in between, to solve their problems. Let's start off by talking about hybrid cloud, because hybrid cloud is a complicated area, and different providers talk about it in different ways. The way I like to think about it is to really start by thinking about what is the size of the deployment. On one end, you can think of it as a single server. And on the other end, you can think of an entire hyperscale public cloud regions. And as we change the scale of our deployment, there are certain properties that are inherently modified throughout that process. As an example, it's inherently much more expensive to build a large public cloud region than it is to procure a single server. Also, public cloud regions tend to have a much larger number of services than you can get in a very small footprint. Inversely, with a small footprint, you can actually put them in many locations, whereas with a hyperscale public cloud region, you actually can only put them in relatively few places that have the data center footprint size, power, and network available to make that make sense. In addition to those, you also need to think about what kind of a configuration you're going to deploy this in. So one option is obviously self-contained. This means that the deployment itself is completely self-contained. The data plane and the control plane are inherently linked together, and they don't have any outside dependencies. Comparatively, you have remotely tethered options, which requires a connection to a public cloud site for some or all of the functionality. Now that we've set up this kind of framework, let's work through some examples from around the industry to understand where they fit on this overall chart. If you think about hyperscale cloud regions, they fit in the lower right quadrant, right? They're very large, very high cost to build. You get all of the services, but they're not super flexible in the location. They're also completely self-contained. On the lower left, you have single server disconnected edge devices. This is stuff that Amazon pioneered with their Snowball Edge device, and Azure has an offering as part of their Azure Stack portfolio. This is the thing that you can operate completely disconnected. You can move it anywhere in the world, and it's self-contained. The downside of it is that it doesn't have very many services. In the top left quadrant, you have what we call remotely tethered compute and storage appliance. Think of this as a deployment that you can put in your own data center. And it's connected to the public cloud typically. And the control plane runs there and the data plane runs locally. And this is really nice in that it gets you a very small footprint and you can put it anywhere. But the downside is that it doesn't have a large number of services. And it's not fully self-contained, which means that if you need complete control over where your data resides, if you need things to operate even in a disconnected mode or a self-contained mode, it just doesn't work. So we've talked about the framework. Where are we at within OCI and how do our offerings fit into this? Well, obviously, we have very many public cloud regions that we've had that for many years. This is a great example of our overall region footprint. We've launched a large number of regions over the past year. We are launching 12 plus more regions over the next year. In addition to just having our public cloud regions, as well as our government regions, we also have a great partnership with Microsoft where we have Azure Interconnect regions, which is where we're really trying to solve multi-cloud problems for customers. You can have workloads that span Azure and OCI, and they work great together. Today, we're introducing our Roving Edge infrastructure. This is our offering that solves the problem for single or clustered disconnected edge devices. We built this as a completely optimized and ruggedized environment. You can buy it as a single server, or you can buy it in a cluster from 5 to 15 nodes. Customers really love this because they can take this anywhere. They can put this in the back of a plane. They can put it out on an oil rig. They can take this to a polar observatory. Anywhere where you think that, hey, you want the benefits of cloud computing, but you don't necessarily have the infrastructure, that's what Roving Edge infrastructure is really built for. In terms of the industries that are most excited about this, security and defense is an obvious one, but also oil and gas and agriculture are very excited. We've packed a lot of punch into this little container. It only weighs 84 pounds. It has over 60 terabytes of storage, 40 cores, half a terabyte of memory, includes a GPU. And of course, it has all of the standard services that customers expect: compute, object store, block storage, virtual networking stack, as well as a way to do functions on the device, as well as GPU optimized integration for things like machine learning. That's what we're doing with our Roving Edge infrastructure. Something that we've been investing in very heavily over the past couple of years is what we call our OCI Exadata Cloud@Customer. This builds on the great legacy that we have from our Exadata hardware platform, but it combines it with a managed cloud service that runs in our cloud and connects back to your Exadatas on-premise. And by doing so, you get the full benefits of a managed cloud service. You get managed patching, upgrades, disaster recovery, failover, backup, restore, point-in-time recovery, all of that. We're very excited about what's happening with Exadata Database Cloud@Customer, and we haven't stopped with just the basic offering. One of the things that we've done over the past year or so is we've actually brought the power of our autonomous database to run on Exadata Cloud@Customer. And we've also brought the benefit of our memory optimized instances that have the highest performance OLTP workloads to Exadata Cloud@Customer. Something we've also been working on from the day that we started OCI is what we call dedicated regions. We built OCI Dedicated Region Cloud@Customer to fill a significant gap in the hybrid cloud strategy from all of the other competitors. And the way to think about this is most customers find themselves in a difficult position where they want all of the benefits of the public cloud, but they need the flexibility of location and the low cost of being able to place this in their own data center. Well, that's exactly what we built with OCI Dedicated Regions. We offer the same support and SLAs that we do for our public cloud. We offer the same contractual model where customers only pay for what they use, and we'll install this completely in your own customer data center. One of the things that we're super proud about, because we launched this I'd say 6 or 7 months ago in last summer, is that as we've continued to add services to OCI, and you can see the list here on the right, we've launched 12 services in that time period. All 12 of those services are also available in all of our dedicated regions. NRI was our first and most important reference customer for our dedicated regions. They've been a great partner with us, and we're very excited for all of the success that we've had with NRI with their dedicated regions. What I'd like to do is hear a little bit from a customer of ours, Australian Data Centers, and how their experience is going using our cloud.
The data center market has changed dramatically over the last few years. We increasingly saw that we needed to remain relevant to our clients' business. The Australian Data Centre facility in Canberra, the capital of Australia, is pleased to be able to provide our first on-premises public cloud capability using Oracle Dedicated Region Cloud at customer. Its aim is to offer the Australian government agencies a complete portfolio of cloud services with both data and operations contained completely within Australia. ADC and our partners provide clients with true hybrid cloud capability and multi-cloud management by integrating private and public cloud services that are highly secure and of high availability and functionality. We looked at a variety of options, from bespoke private secure clouds right through to establishing our own cloud using hypervisor technology. Ultimately, the choice was pretty simple. There was no other provider out there that provided the range of services that comes with the Oracle Dedicated Region. We believe we can deliver a modern, scalable and secure solution to help address the Australian Government's needs. ADC is excited about working together with Oracle to deliver this new offering that will accelerate our visions of being the provider of choice for a truly Australian-hosted multi-cloud solution.
We talked about a simple model for understanding our hybrid cloud offerings and how they fit into the overall industry. Now I want to take a minute to talk about a model for understanding the level of control that a customer has to go through when they're using any kind of a service. So on one side, you have a low level of control, which is where you're giving responsibility and power to someone else. And on the other side, you have a high level of control, but it comes with a lot of responsibility. What goes along with that is that administrative access is only possible in a high level of control and obviously isn't possible when you have a low level of control. Same thing for upgrades and patching control of a system. And the same thing also applies for metadata visibility. So if you want to ensure that your metadata is only visible to you, you need to have a high level of control system. Whereas if you're okay with a provider having access to it, a low level of control system works out. Now, the reason this is relevant is that VMware is obviously, as everyone knows, the dominant on-premise virtualization technology. And anytime we're talking about a hybrid cloud strategy, you need to have a position and an idea and a point of view on how customers should address their VMware estate. Now, existing customers kind of fall into two broad buckets. There are customers that run VMware on-premise and they do it themselves. And there are customers that take a lot of the VMware portfolio and they move it to a managed service provider. I know it's more complex than that, but for this model, bear with me. Think of it that way. You have the high level of control VMware environment and you have the low level of control VMware environment. Now, as you think about this transition that we're all making into the public cloud, how does that change or evolve? Well, most customers want the benefits of the public cloud. They want to have the just-in-time provisioning. They want the elastic scale up, scale down. They want pay for what you use. As part of that, public cloud providers have really created a VMware environment that is focused on that low level of control situation. What that means is that to use that VMware environment, you don't actually get root access. You don't get the high level of control that you might have for some of these on-premise customers. It's a really great fit for the customers who already on-premise had that low level of control. On the flip side, for customers that had a high level of control and want to continue that, maybe because they don't want to spend a lot of time re-architecting or reworking their operational practices, they don't want to rewrite their apps, they want to be able to seamlessly migrate and move workloads from on-premise to the public cloud and back, the current offerings from public cloud providers are not a good fit for them. That's the reason that we created Oracle Cloud VMware Solution. How is it different? Well, fundamentally, it offers a cloud option that still gives customers that same high level of control that many of them expect. To talk more about that and understand what we're doing differently, let's hear from Mark Lohmeyer, Senior Vice President and General Manager of the Cloud Services Business Unit from VMware.
One of the key differentiators of the Oracle Cloud VMware solution is this idea of customer control. If you look at our joint customers over many years, they've optimized their Oracle and VMware environment together. The way that the Oracle applications and Oracle databases and other services run on top of vSphere, on top of vSAN, on top of NSX, and the way they manage that environment on the VMware side through vCenter. And so with the Oracle Cloud VMware solution, what we've provided to them is a completely compatible environment, a completely VMware compatible environment running in OCI. And this is a very powerful concept because it gives our customers the confidence to be able to migrate those workloads into Oracle Cloud VMware Solution, but maintain the same consistent management model, maintain the same consistent operational processes and controls. And so this gives them confidence that they can run those mission critical enterprise class workloads in Oracle Cloud VMware Solution the same way that they have been doing likely for many years in their own data centers. If you look at our customers, right, it's clear that it's not a one size fits all situation, but at a high level, I would say there's a general theme of customers are looking to modernize, right? They want to modernize their applications, they want to modernize their infrastructure, and they want to do that to deliver new value, new services to their customers.
It's great to hear from Mark about the success that our customers are having on our joint platform. In addition, you can see here some great quotes from Altair and Rumo of how they're able to solve problems with our solution they just weren't able to solve any other way. So going into a bit more of the specifics, the thing that makes Oracle Cloud VMware Solution so different is that it's available in all of our public cloud regions. It's also available in our dedicated region. It's available in our government regions. Customers have control of software upgrades, so they get to decide when they patch their systems or not. They get complete root access to the system. They own all of the encryption keys, and they get a very scalable system that you can scale to a very large cluster size. In addition, you get all of that environment sitting right next to all of those amazing cloud services that Oracle has built, whether it's in your public cloud or even a dedicated region in your own data center. So we've talked about a lot of things today. We've heard from some customers. We've heard from some great partners. We spent a bunch of time today talking about our overall hybrid cloud strategy and several offerings and how they are alike in many ways and different in some ways to what's available in the industry. The thing that I want everyone to walk away with is to understand that Oracle is very dedicated to ensuring that we bring all of the benefits of our cloud to customers where they are now. That's the reason that we built Exadata Database Cloud at Customer. It's the reason that we built dedicated regions. It's the reason that today we're launching our roving edge infrastructure. And what you'll continue to see from us at Oracle is that we know that public cloud is the future. Cloud, whether it be cloud applications or cloud infrastructure, are vitally important to continued improvements in all of our lives. And the only way we're going to get there as an industry is to accept that, yes, public cloud is great. How we transition from the world that we're in on-premise to there requires a lot of help from cloud providers. And that's the reason that we built the services that we built. And you'll continue to see more of those services coming from Oracle in the coming quarters and years. Thank you very much. I really appreciate the time you spent with me.